Hey guys, so today I'm doing an updated tutorial of this bee design. This bee design was actually the first tutorial I ever made, so I feel like I've gotten a lot better at explaining now, and I've gotten some complaints and some people have asked me to redo this tutorial. I'm also redoing it for another reason, and I'll say that in a second, but yeah, so this is the bee design. I actually had to go find him because he's like, I probably made this like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, like I said, if you go all the way back on my channel, this is like the first, Loomigurumi tutorial I made, so that's kind of fun, I don't know. But I feel like I should update it because it is pretty old. I'm gonna update this tutorial for sure, and the mini narwhal. Those two get the most complaints. So yes, this is the bee design. So this is like, I'm gonna be doing it like this today, where it's like head color and then black and white, so just like a classic bee. But when I was making sure I remembered how to make it, I did like a cute little rainbow bee, and I actually really like him. Another thing I did kind of change that, like, I used to put the wings very at the sides, and now I'm kind of putting them a little more towards the top. And then this one was one I made a couple years ago for the 4th of July, so it's like America colors, but yeah. But I guess this is actually, like, how the design will look if you're actually doing a bee. So like I said, I had something else I wanted to say because, I know some of you are probably gonna look at this design and be like, hey, that looks like somebody else's design. But truth is, that's my design. And I actually talked to her like about taking it down, and then she was like, no, I'm not gonna say who it is, because if you don't know who it is, I don't want you to like attack her. I've decided I've given up. I don't know what to do. At first we like came to an agreement that she would like give me credit, but I'll let her keep her tutorial up. And then recently I noticed she made like 2 more tutorials for a bee, and I was like, what the heck? So then I went to go check, and sure enough, she didn't give me any credit, and she's like, this doesn't look like anybody else's design. But I've given up. I don't want to bother with her. I don't want to waste my time on that. She's made it clear that she doesn't care, and she might have stolen it. I'm pretty sure she did. But yeah, because there's only one small difference in our designs, and yeah, it's pretty much mine though. But I just wanted to update this bee tutorial, partially because it's old and partially because I feel like it kind of does hurt when I see everybody like posting the bee and then they're like, oh, it's hers, and I'm like, no, it's mine. It's just kind of frustrating, I guess, but I don't want anyone to attack her. If you know who I'm talking about, do not attack her. Like, she might be doing this now, but like I always think like karma, I guess, like maybe something she'll realize later, maybe, I don't know. But I think that's all I wanted to say. I just realized I did not calculate the bank count, so you're gonna have to check the description, but let me see if I can figure it out. So it's probably about, actually, let me go do the band count, because I know that's like important. 1 minute. Okay, so I went and did the band count. I did the math myself, so I would double check the description. But the whole bee is about 100 and probably 10-ish bands, 10 or something like that, somewhere around there. Using about, for this one, about 60 white. Like I said, I did the math in my head. It is probably wrong. I'm bad at math. And then for the black, it's about 48-ish, something like that. Either way, if you want to check for like, my 100% certain band count will be in the description, but that's more or less band count, and I think that is it, so we will get started. I'm gonna move these bees out of the way. Oh, also I wanted to say about this bee, because I've seen some people like doing like little pride flag bees, I think would be really cute too, so just an idea. But I'm just gonna be doing like a classic bee today, which I actually don't have. I don't know why I never did this color. I guess I felt like it was basic or something. But yeah. So you're gonna need a hook. You're gonna need something for eyes. You can use safety eyes. I'm using beads again today just because I always use beads. And you're gonna want something to mark your rows. I'll be using a C-clip. And yeah, I think that's it. So we'll get started. So I'm just gonna pick up some yellow. Oh, also, this is probably this is my easiest design. The easiest design on my channel. It is super easy. There is not really any attaching at all. You just do the antennas and the eyes. And I mean, you don't really attach the eyes if you have safety eyes, because you just kind of put those in. So, yeah. But, oh, also ignore my disgusting nails. I've been meaning to repaint them or something, but they're just kind of a mess right now. Okay. So we're going to start by making a triple looped cap band. So this is 1, and then 2, and 3. So it should look like that. Then we'll be pulling a band through this cap band. Put both ends back on, and then push the back one over the front one. Like that. Try not to have my hands get in the way, but... And now... Okay. Now we're going to be going back into the cap band and doing the same thing. So we pull a band through just the cap band. Then we put the back one over the front one, and then you put the band from last time over too. We're going to do that exact same thing 4 more times, so we have 6 loops in the cap band. Oops, I dropped it. So yeah, we're just going to do the exact same thing. So we get a band, we pull it through just the cap band, put the back one over the front one, and then you put the loop from last time over. Gotta do that 3 more times. So you go back through the cap band, pull the band through the cap band, both ends back on, back one over the front one, and then you put the other loop over. So I gotta do that 2 more times. This one, and then 2. So that should be 6. So once you think you have 6, you're just going to count, and to count, we're going to start with this one. So you count the one on your hook, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once you've made sure you have 6, you're just going to go, instead of going back to the cap band, you're going to go into the first loop, and you'll just make a stitch just like you would in the cap band on the loop. And then we'll be putting a C-clip on this one to mark our rows, like that. So now we'll be increasing everything. I'll show you what that means. I'm just picking up a few more yellow bands. So this one already has 1 in it, but with an increase, basically what you do is you just put 2 stitches in each one of these loops. So this one has 1, so we have to go back in and do another one. Like that. And then we'll go to the next one and we'll do 2 stitches. So you just do 1. Oops. I always have a bad habit of pulling my hook out. It happens like once per tutorial, I swear. So like that. That's 1, so you gotta go back in and do another one, so you do 2. Oh my god. Like that. So you're just putting 2 in each loop until you get back to the C-clip. So you go in and do 1. Then you go back in and you do another one. And that's an increase. So it increases just you put 2 in one loop. If that makes sense, hopefully it does. So 1, then you go back and do another one, so it's 2. Then you move on to the next one. We just keep doing this until we get back to the C-clip. And I have to do 1 more increase. Like that, and then once you get to the C-clip, you'll just make a stitch on that band, and then move the C-clip up onto this band. Like that. So after that last row, you should have 12, so if you count, you always start by counting the one on your hook, so you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now this next row we will be increasing every 3rd loop, and it's basically, well, yeah, if you've done my tutorials before, you know what I mean, but I will show you. I'm just picking up more bands, of course. Okay. So, this is, since we're increasing every 3rd, we're going to do 2, just 2 stitches with just 1 in it, and then on the 3rd one you'll put 2, which would be an increase, if that makes sense. So this is 1, then we just do the next one with just 1 stitch in it. That's 2, and then on this 3rd one we do an increase. So you do 1, and then you go back in and you do another one. And that is what we will be doing the whole row. So you do 2 single ones, or normal is what I usually say. So you go 1, 2, and then on the 3rd one you do an increase. Oops. So like I said, on this one you do an increase, so you do 1, and then you go back in and you do another one, because that's an increase. And we just keep doing this until we get back to C-clip. So we just do 2 single or normal, however you call it, I guess. So we're just putting 1 in these, so 1, 2. And then on the third one we do an increase. So we put 2 bands in this one. And we just keep doing this. So 1, 2. And we do an increase. Like that. And then once you get to the C-clip, you just make a stitch and move it up. Like that. So after that last row, you should have 16 stitches. So if we count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so now this is a bit where it gets a bit repetitive. We're going to be doing 6 rows, just doing single or normal stitches in all of them. And then but we're going to be alternating colors. So the first row is going to be in your bee color, so it's still yellow, but then the next row will be black, and then we switch back to yellow. And I'll stay to do like 2 or 3 rows, and then I'll go off camera to do the rest. But yeah, dropped a C-clip. I don't know why I have a bunch of C-clips on my desk. But yeah, I'm just picking up bands really quick. So this row is really easy. So basically, all we do this row is we're just going to do 1 row around with our yellow color, or whatever color I guess your bee is. And you're just putting 1 in every loop until you get back to the C-clip. So you're just doing 1 stitch every single, oops. I swear, I keep pulling my hook out today, it's not good. But yeah, you're just putting 1 every loop until you get back to the C-clip. So this row is pretty simple. And like I said, if you want to get ahead, we do this for 6 rows, but you just switch colors at the end of every row, and you don't do anything fancy to switch colors, you literally just switch colors. Yeah, so we do this for 6 rows total, but I'll stay on camera to do 3 so nobody's confused, basically. But yeah. So we're just doing 1 till we get back, and I'm almost there. I don't know why I put a bunch of yellow on my finger. Literally after this, we switched to black. I also hear my family watching football in the living room, so that's fun. Okay, but once you get to the C-clip, you're just gonna do a stitch and move it up. And after this row, if you want to count, you will still have 16. I'm not gonna count because I know I have 16. But you should still have 16 if you want to double check to make sure you didn't increase. So now we'll be switching to our black color. And I'm just picking up some black bands really quickly. So, yeah. And we don't do anything fancy to switch. Literally all we do is we just start doing the next row of singles, or we just do the next row normal, just putting 1 in every loop till you get back to the C-clip. And I don't do anything fancy to switch colors. I literally just start doing the exact same thing, but this time with black. And we just do this until we get back to the C-clip. So, and we keep doing this until we have 6 rows total, where you just alternate between black and yellow. So if you want to get ahead, do that. I'll stay on to do 1 more row in case anybody's confused. But yeah, we're just putting 1 in every loop now, just with black, until we get back to the C-clip. Honestly though, that girl who stole my design, I did get the pattern from her to see, like, how different they were. And literally, the only difference in our designs, is that on the, like, after I increased everything, you would increase on the third. She doesn't do that. She increases every other loop. And that is literally the only increase in our difference in her designs, and I don't think that's enough to make it original. And I talked to I think I talked to some other loomers, and I don't think they think it is either. But yeah, I didn't try to talk to her. I sent her a message and I was like, hey, you know, this was like the first time because I've talked to her, I think 3 separate times about this. And I was like, hey, could you take it down? You know, she actually had a tutorial up for my narwhal, and I was like, whoa, take it down. And that one was like, she put, it was mine. And I was like, no, like, take it down. And then she did, and then she was like, well, no, the bee is mine. But then she kept going back on her word and being like, well, your tutorial's outdated, so I honestly don't know what to think. But I've talked to her 3 separate times, and I just don't want to waste any more time on her. And I don't want you guys to hate on her either, because I think that something will happen and she'll see how I feel. So, you know, or maybe she'll grow up. Who knows? But yeah, so after that row, you should still have 16. The only thing difference is now it is in black. So now this row we'll be switching back to yellow. And this is our 3rd row doing the exact same thing we've been doing. Just putting 1 in every loop until we get back to C-clip. It's just, as you can tell, what I'm doing is we're just alternating colors. So I'll stay on for this last row, and then I'll go off to do the other 3, because I feel like now you can kind of get what you're doing. Ooh, I dropped a band. I don't know how far down it went. I think it went to the floor. Yeah. But I'll stay on to do the last one, I guess, and finish giving you what happened with the whole bee design. I mean, I wasn't going to say anything, and I still don't want to say who she is. That way, if anyone doesn't know, they won't, like, attack her or anything. But I really don't want anyone to attack her. I mean, I kind of don't know what I'm going to do at this point. I'm just letting her, because, okay, so basically that happened the first time, and then she told me, like, oh, your tutorial's outdated, and she came up with all these excuses, and I was like, fine, whatever. I gave up, basically. And then I went back. I think I talked to her 1 time in between these times, but this one was most recently. And I kind of messaged her, like, what the heck are you doing? Because she kept stealing people's designs, and I think it's just because she wanted to put things out, but, like, they weren't hers. So then I messaged her because she has designs and things, and they are good. Like, I won't deny that she's, like, a good loomer. She is. But I just didn't understand why she was, like, stealing people's designs. So I sent her a message that was really nice and kind of just, like, trying to, I guess, get her off that path and kind of get her back on doing her own designs. I was like, hey, you know, you're so talented. Why do you keep just stealing designs? And then she's like, oh, it's okay. I won't do it anymore, but I want to keep the bee tutorial. So I was like, fine. If you take down tutorials for every single design you stole, I will let you keep the bee tutorial up. That was our agreement. And she would give me credit in the description that it was heavily inspired by my bee. And yeah, so that was the agreement we had. And that's why recently, like I said at the start, when I went to her channel and she had like 2 more tutorials up for the bee, and literally in her description she says, oh, don't say this was like inspired by anybody's. I was like, welp, that went horribly, but I've kind of given up at this point. And I don't want anyone to hate on her, but I am going to go off camera to do the rest of this bee, so I just finished doing a row with yellow. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I guess I should have finished saying what I was saying about her, but that was it. I've kind of given up now, and I don't want anyone to hate on her, so don't do it. Just let it be. Let it be. Kind of sounded like a pun, but yeah. But just, I figure she'll learn with her own time or whatever. So just don't hate on her, and yeah, I just wanted to say what happened, because I wasn't going to. I was going to let it drop, but then she went and did all this, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to say something. But yeah. Anyways, we just finished doing 3 rows, so it was that first row we did, the second row, and then this row, and we're going to do 3 more still, and we're doing the exact same thing, so the next row would be black. So you just do the same thing in black, and then you go back to yellow, and then you do black. So once you have finished the 3 rows, or the 6 rows in total, just alternating colors, come back, and I'll show you how to close it up. Okay, so I just finished doing the 6 rows, alternating colors. So the last row, if you did the, I guess the normal color combo where it's like bee colors, I guess, the last row should have been black, but now we are going to start closing him up, and And basically what we did for those 6 rows is we were just doing 1 in every stitch, alternating colors, and at the end of all of those rows you should still have 16 loops, so you can count to make sure, but I'm not going to count because I know I did it right. Or at least I think I did it right. I'm pretty sure I did. But yeah, so we're going to get started with the next row. So the next row we will be decreasing on every 3rd stitch, so it's just like when we did increasing, except this time we are decreasing. So, my camera is not focused. There we go. So, this is one, oh, we're switching back to yellow, by the way. So after you do that last row, the rest of this is yellow. This is 1, so this one's 2, and then the next one will be a decrease. So to decrease, what you do is you go to the next loop, you grab the front part. I'm trying to show you, it's really hard to see. The front part of the first loop, and the back part. Okay, so the back part of the next loop, and you make a stitch on this. And that is a decrease. So like I said, we're decreasing on the 3rd, so we're going to do 2 normal. So you just do 1, and then 2. And then the 3rd one's a decrease. It's kind of really hard to see because it's black, but basically, well, the color's black, but yeah. But you just grab the front part of this first loop, then you go into the next loop, and you get the back part. And that would be a decrease. We just keep doing this until we get back to C-clip. So you go 1, then 2, and then this one is decrease. Let me keep doing that. So 1, then 2, and then a decrease. And then once you get to the C-clip, we will just be making a stitch and moving it up. Like that. So after that last row, you should have 12 bands, 12 loops. So if you count, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now for this next row, we will be decreasing. If I said increase at any point in the last one, I meant decrease. But we'll be decreasing every other stitch, so basically we do 1, and then we do a decrease. And I'm picking up bands really quickly. But yeah, so we just do, well, this is 1, so the next one's actually a decrease, so front part and then back part. We do 1. Then we do a decrease. It starts to get tight here, so it might be kind of hard to see what I'm doing, but you do 1 stitch normal, then you do a decrease, then we do 1, then we do a decrease. And then once you get to the C-clip, you'll just make a stitch and move it up. Like that. So after that last row, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. Yes, you should have 8. But honestly, if you have 7, it's probably not a big deal, because I know sometimes when people decrease, I always see comments on my tutorials are like, oh my god, it's 1 off. But especially with this one, if it's 1 off right now, because we're pretty much almost done, it doesn't really matter. But we are going to be stuffing him now, so just take your hook out. And as long as you don't pull on it, your C-clip should hold it, like if you don't pull on it too much. And I'm using just some cotton ball I tore up, and we're just going to stuff him. I maybe should have stuffed him last row, but the opening is big enough. Oh god, he needs a lot more stuffing. But yeah, we're almost done. After this, we just do, I think it's, yeah, we do one more row, and then we just have to attach the things, and he is done. Well, attaches like antennas, wings, and eyes. But honestly, if you do safety eyes, you probably would have put your eyes in already. But because I do bees, I put my eyes on at the end. I think this should be enough. I think he still needs more. Nah, he's good. No, he needs a little more. I'm sorry, I'm just like stuffing him on camera. I always forget to pause to do these things. But it's fine. You can enjoy me stuffing my bee. There we go. Okay, so now this next row, we are going to be increasing every single stitch until it's closed. So every single stitch we do is a decrease. So, oops. Thought I dropped something. I think I did. But, okay, so yeah, we're just decreasing until we're closed. So you can actually take the C-clip out at this point, because we don't need it anymore. You're literally decreasing everything, so you don't need to know what row you're on, but you just keep decreasing until the hole is closed. So, decrease, do another decrease, decrease again. I think I can do one more and then he's closed. And it gets really tight at the end, but once you think you're pretty much done, you'll get the last decrease up on your hook, and you'll just pull a band through everything on your hook, put both ends back on, and then push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And then you'll just tuck the tail in. Oops. Like that. Oops. You still kind of see the tail sticking out. That's fine, just fixing it. And that is the main body of your bee. So now we just have to make the antennas and the wings. And I think I'm going to put no, I'll do the antennas first. So to make the antennas, what we do is we're going to wrap a band 4 times around our hook, so there's twice, and then you can grab both these loops and put them again, and then that's 4. And then we're going to get some black bands, so in case you don't know what I'm doing, we're doing this, so the cat band is the colored bit, and then the black is the rest of the antenna. So now we're just going to double a band on our hook, and pull the cat band onto that band, both ends back on, double another band, do the same thing. So we're just making a chain with doubled bands. We're going to do that one more time. Like that. And then once you have done the cat band plus 3 doubled chains, you're just going to take a band that's your bee color and pull the antenna onto that band. And we're going to make one more of those. So just get a band, wrap it 4 times around your hook, and then get a black band, double it, pull the cat band onto that band, and then we just do 2 more double chains. So 1, and that's 2, and then it's 3 total. If you want to check it, I guess you can see. So it's 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Then you get a band that's your bee color. Like that. And usually how I decide what like the top of my bee is if you see that the bottom here is kind of a little bit not as clean, I guess. It just, you can see where we switched colors. So I usually just go opposite of that, and that'll be the top of my bee. And then I'll pick a spot at the top. And then you just slip knot these in. Okay. Then we'll go right here. We will slip knot this one in. Oops. Like that, and then you just hide the tails. Okay. And now we just put the eyes in the front of the face somewhere. Of course, if you did safety eyes, you would have already done this, but because I'm doing beads, I kind of got to tie them in right now. I usually just pick a spot I like. I used to put the eyes different places, so it's really hard to kind of get the eyes wrong. And there's not an exact place I do it each time. I just put them where I feel like they should go. That's going to be too high. There. Yes, that's cute. Okay. Okay, so now the absolute last thing we do. Oh gosh, I think his eyes are crooked to where his... Okay, I'll fix that later, because if you can tell, his eye's like down here when it probably should have been like up here. So his face is crooked now. It's fine. I'll fix it later. I swear I never attach right on camera. So the last thing we have to do is do the wings, and you're going to want white bands for this, or whatever color you want the wings on. This guy, I gave him jelly blue wings, so you can really do whatever color you want. But yeah, so you're just going to get some bands. And you don't need too many, but I'm just getting some to make sure I have enough. And what you're going to do is we are going to double a band on our hook. And then we'll get another band, and we'll basically just chain one on, like that. And then we are going to be putting 5 stitches in this first chain, so pull another band through. Oops, shoot. You pull another band through, you put both ends back on, but then you put the back one over the front one to make a stitch. And we'll be putting 5 stitches in this first chain, so you have to go 5 stitches in the first chain. I know I said that really fast. We're just putting 5 in this one. So that's 2, 3, and then 4. Then we do one more. It'll be 5. So once you've done 5 in the chain, you're going to do 3 in the cap band. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then once you've done 5 in the chain and then 3 in the cap band, instead of going back into either of these loops, you're going to go into that first loop. And then you're going to pull a band through everything on your hook, back one over the front one, and then pull tight. And that is a wing. And then you will attach the wing to your bee. I've been liking to put them a little bit higher, so I'm going to put my wing about right there. And what I'll usually do is I'll just pull this, the thing we used to tie in first, and then I'll go through like half the wing, pick up, like just kind of snag part of the bee, and then go back through the other loop, like that, and then get a white band and just tie it. So that way it's nice and secure in the bee. And that is it, the wing is on the bee. So I think I explained that pretty well. I was debating if I should stay on to do the other wing, but I feel like you can see what I did. So I think, I'll do the other wing, just in case anybody's confused. Do it twice, I guess. So we're just going to do the same thing. So you'll double a band on your hook, chain one on, and then we'll pull a band through this again, but then we put the back one over the front one, so we make a stitch, and then we'll just make 5 stitches in this first chain. So 2 and 3, 3, 4, and then 5. And then in the cap band here, we'll only be putting 3. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then once you have done 3 in the cap band and 5 in the chain, instead of going back into either, you go into the first loop, pull a band through everything on your hook, back one over the front one, and then pull tight. And then we'll just stick this in our bee. I'm trying to stay on camera, but it's kind of hard for me to see. Like that. And then once again, we go through half of the wing, and you'll snag part of the bee. Like that. Just snag, oops. Just pick part of it, and then go back through the other half of the wing, and then get a white band, and then just tie and pull tight, and then we'll tuck it in. I have a feeling his wings are crooked just like his eyes, but I swear I never attach well on camera. I always have to go and fix them. Just never ends well. Just trying to pull this in. And that is it. Oh gosh, his wings aren't as crooked as I thought it would be. I mean, this one's probably a little high, but his eyes are by far what's the worst. But I'll fix his eyes after I finish this, because I gotta glue his mouth on too. So that's how I do the mouth. I always forget to say, but if you want to do a mouth, what I do is I just cut a band and I use hot glue to glue it on. But that is it for this bee tutorial. Finally updated it, I guess. But if you want to see more tutorials from me, definitely subscribe. I have so much more coming out. I'm hoping to release a couple Halloween designs and Christmas designs soon for like the holidays, I guess. Yeah, I just want to make sure to just say again, please do not hate on who copied my bee. We're just gonna leave her alone and try to be the bigger person. But yeah, I think that is it. Like I said, subscribe. But I think that is it, and I am going to go. I hope your bee turned out okay. And yeah, bye.